Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and welcome back for another epic battle in Medieval Kingdoms 1212 AD. This is a 3 vs 2 siege, and it takes place on one of my favorite maps in Total War Attila. I meant to get this battle out probably over a month ago, but I just haven't had the time lately. But I started my channel with pretty battle-heavy content, and I want to try and get more battles out to you guys because it's been a while since we've had a good siege on the channel. So I hope you guys enjoy the return to the era of the Great Sieges, and without further ado, let's take a look at the army comps. The first army on the battlefield today is Norway, commanded by myself, and in the front lines I've got a culverin as my artillery piece, and it's one of the new artillery pieces that was made available in the last update. So it's tier 3 15th century medium artillery with some chevrons on them. And then for my archers, I've decided to go for 4 units of Orkney Islanders, just to maximize that arcing shot, just to get them over the wall. I think in the most recent patch, crossbows are much more effective when they fire straight at a target, whereas the bows can do good damage when they fire in an arcing motion or an arcing pattern. But these are really solid units, so I've got 4 units of them. And then I've got my first line of infantry, which is the Tablemen. Iconic medieval soldiers here, looking really cool. But they're kind of my throwaway unit because they're only tier 1, so they're pretty cheap. They also have silver chevron upgrades on them, though, so they will have a decent amount of morale. But the meat of my army, as with any Norwegian army, is the Vapnir, with silver chevron upgrades. Heavy melee infantry, 14th century, so I've got 6 units of them, all manning my towers. And then we've got 2 units of Foot Ritter, which I'm going to keep back in reserve with my General's Bodyguard, because they don't seem to perform too well when they get in range of crossbows. So I'm going to kind of leave them for the final push. And then I've got my General here, which is a Ritter unit. So there he is. This is a big gold crown. And then I've also got 2 units of just standard Ritter. Looking really nice. Also 14th century as well. I don't think Norway has access to any 15th century cavalry. But that is it for my army, so let's go ahead and take a look at my allies. The second army on the battlefield today is also Norway, commanded by the Red Celt. And speaking of Ritter, we've also got 2 units of Ritter that the Red Celt has brought to the battlefield. So again, 14th century, decent cavalry unit. They're pretty quick too, so they are good in more open cities and sieges, so they can get some decent charges off. But the Red Celt has actually brought the dismounted Ritter General as well, so there he is. Could be my twin, looks almost exactly alike. Very, very nice, so very cool how we've got some generals that do decide to fight on foot. But that is the Red Celt's general. And then for his archers, he's brought 2 units of Bow Bondir of the early period, which are a light bow infantry unit. And then he's also brought some Orkney Islanders, but he's brought the tier 1, whereas I brought the tier 2. And then he's also got some Foot Ritter with triple gold chevron upgrades, so this is probably his best infantry that he's brought. He's brought, I believe, 4 units of them. And then the rest of his forces he's brought is Vapnir, and they've also been chevroned up to the gold. And for his artillery piece, he has brought a Bombard. And I believe that is everything for the Red Celt's forces, so let's go ahead and take a look at the next one. The third and final attacking force on the battlefield today is also Norway, commanded by Azrian Fox, and he's got a really nice vantage point here for his culverin up on this large hill overlooking the entire city. So this could be very dangerous for the defenders. So we'll see how well it plays out for Azrian in the coming battle. But he's brought a little bit different of an army comp as well. In the last update, I believe, herdmen were now available to the roster of Norway, so he's brought 4 units of early period herdmen. And then he's decided to go with crossbows, so he's got 4 units of Hanseatic infantry with triple gold chevron upgrades, so they're heavy crossbow infantry, 14th century. You can see my cav moving in the distance there. It's because I'm moving them over to the other side of the battlefield. But back to Azrian's army comp, he's got 4 units of Vapnir, again with double silver chevron upgrades, just like mine. And then he's also bringing some pikes, which is really nice, some Landvern pikemen. And I believe we put a rule, because this is a 3 vs 2 and we so heavily outnumbered them, that we could only bring a maximum of 3 pikemen. And then he's got his general over here, which is the King's Bodyguard. And there is the king there. A little bit younger version of both the Red Celt and mines. So we could say that he's my son or something. And I believe he's got 2 units of cavalry over here. He's brought Chnet, I think is the correct pronunciation. I have been saying Connect, like Connect 4 almost. But I believe the correct pronunciation is Chnet. But he's got 2 units of them hiding in the trees, and you can see the siege tower moving forwards as well. I think he's swapping the battering ram over for the siege tower in the deployment phase. But that is it for the attacking armies, so let's go ahead and take a look at the defenders. The 2 defending armies on the battlefield today are both Denmark, and they are commanded by Nashgrash and the Hunted. And we're going to go ahead and take a look at both of them together, because I can't really tell who brought what, but both of their armies are relatively the same. So they, for their mainline infantry, they've pretty much just brought late period Huskarls, which is heavy melee infantry, 15th century, a lot of plate armor. You can see how heavily armored these guys are compared to the Norwegians, so we got our work cut out for us in that aspect. But each of them was allowed to bring 1 catapult, and then they were allowed, I believe, to bring 5 units of Pavis crossbowmen each, so there is 10, if I'm not mistaken. But this is going to be a little bit of a problem for Asrian's Hanseatic infantry, because any archers that are not Pavis, when they are trying to face Pavis crossbowmen, almost inevitably lose because of the Pavis crossbowmen's excellent missile block due to that large shield. But they were also allowed to bring a lot of pikemen, so they've got pikemen of the late period. And then they've brought a bunch of skilled spearmen as well. And I wouldn't say these guys are the best spears in the game. In my opinion, the best spears are still the Scutafuri that the County of Toulouse can field. But these are pretty close to the Pavis Bergamen, I believe, that the Holy Roman Empire is able to field. So really solid 15th century spears. And we just got more Huskarls down here. We've got one of the King's Bodyguard down here. I believe that's the Hunted. And then way up in the Acropolis, you can see the King's Bodyguard of Nashgrash. But as I said, just more spears, more crossbows. It's nice to see that they are holding the outer walls, though. So this will be a fight to the finish. And then, of course, over here at this other gate, we've got 2 units of Ritter of the High Period. And I did see this during the deployment phase, so that's why my cavalry was moving over to the other side, just to protect that far left wing. But that is it for the defending armies, so without further ado, let's get to the battle.
Take your shots in your own time.
Alright guys, welcome to the battlefield, and as you can see, Asrian's Culverin up here has an excellent position to be firing down onto pretty much the entire city. But it looks like he is under fire from the Bastion artillery of Nashgrash and the Hunted. Now, I usually cut out bombardment phases in sieges, but this one is very unique, as you will see, so that's why I've decided to keep it in. But it definitely is a long battle at 58 minutes still left on the clock. But the Hunted's bombard is over here, and then the Nashgrash's bombard is on this side. And check that out. Both of them sniping out 2 of the culverins of Asrian Fox. And if you're wondering why this is a Scorpion model here, it's the culverin is built over top of the Scorpion, so whenever they're destroyed, it turns into a destroyed Scorpion. But I'm sure you're wondering why there's only 3 up here. Just in a freak shot when the battle started before the enemy artillery was shut off, it actually got one of his bombards before the battle even started, or one of his culverins, rather. But yeah, so now Asrian Fox is desperately trying to get his culverin out of there, but it's kind of glitching on this hilltop. And he's going to try and get it down the slopes. You can see he had almost full ammo, and there we go. Already, one of the attackers is artilleryless, so that is really going to pose a problem for us, because poor Asrian Fox, none of the towers were destroyed. He got no breaches there, so that is a huge problem. So let's go ahead and take a look at how the Red Celt is doing. Oh, he's down to 1 too. I may have known that already, but I'm just saying, like, what terrible luck. 3 out of 4 of his bombards have been destroyed by Nashgrash's catapult, and I believe Nashgrash was manually firing with his catapult and his bombards, so definitely an artillery sniper here. You can see just missing that bombard there. And this is a hard shot to make too, because you can see where the bombard is situated, that it's pretty far down the slope. So it's not like Nashcrash can actually see this bombard and get a good idea of where to fire. But just insane sniping skills here by him. I was really, really impressed. But the Red Celt is firing, I think, to try and get that tower down. It is at 85% damage. But here comes another volley from that catapult. And there we go. So the Red Celt's artillery is gone as well. And I think, as you can see, as soon as the Red Celt saw that, he's like, nope. And he's just started moving up all of his siege towers. So it really wasn't too long of a bombardment phase. But over here, I still have my Culverin firing, and I have managed to take down one of the towers, and I'm going for the second one now. But unfortunately, Nashcrash's Bastion Bombard here is still in range. You can see it sitting right there. And I think 2 out of my 4 are protected over here by the, I don't know, rocky outcrop or the cliff face, but 2 of them are exposed. And I am the only attacker still left with artillery. But I am focusing his catapult with my artillery, and I just got 2 out of the 4. So he's already lost half of his catapults, and he still has probably 75% ammunition with them. But now he's starting to manual fire on my Culverin and took out one of them as well. So now I'm down to 3. So pretty incredible play. I've never seen this type of artillery battle before, and it being so successful. And the Hunted, he's still got a little bit left on his bombard. I think he's just firing now at the Hanseatic infantry that we're looking to move forwards. Not sure if he's trying to fire on the siege towers, but that's kind of a lost cause. Let's go ahead and look over here at my Culverin. I was very thankful that this little cliff face was able to protect it from that Bastion Bombard, because that Bastion Bombard has taken out 4 Culverin, and then his catapult has taken out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 artillery pieces. Here we go with another shot. Looks like it is going to go a little bit high. Is going to hit a few of my soldiers in reserve there. But yeah, having a hard time. Actually, I'm not even focusing this tower. I'm just so focused on getting rid of his catapult. And you can see, yes, he is down to 1 catapult at this point. But now we've already got these siege towers closing in. Let's actually go to the perspective of these Pavi's crossbowmen on the walls here. Actually, it looks like they... I'm gonna get out of there. It looks like they just decided to move off the walls as I jumped on there. But we do have the Huskarls of the late period over here. I think he does have a few units, or he's got 1 skilled spearman and 1 of the Huskarls, and he is going to form up a defensive position here. No point in trying to hold the walls directly, because the Red Celt will just be able to outflank him with 6 siege towers here. But we do have the brave Vapnir coming over onto the walls now. And yeah, I think my general was getting hit there by the artillery, which was a little bit concerning. You can see he's lost 2 men there. But luckily, I've still got my 3 artillery pieces with a decent amount of ammunition still left. So let's go ahead and zoom into this fight here. And if you guys are wondering, I'm actually doing this one on my old PC. I know I was supposed to just go onto my new PC for 12.12 because with some recent updates, it seems to be running quite decently. But I actually waited too long to record this siege battle, and the replay was actually glitched because I think there is another update that has come out for 12.12, which has ruined the replay a little bit. So luckily, my old PC doesn't have access to internet, or I choose not to allow it to have access to the internet, so that my Ancient Empires campaign can continue on, and it looks like it did save this battle for me as well. But here we go. Let's take a look at these Huskarls as the Vapnir are charging off the siege towers and going right for these brave Danish soldiers. And that tower is still active, so it is getting quite a few kills. You can see it's firing 3 arrows about every second. Actually, it looks like 4. So it's definitely going to rack up a lot of kills. I would love to see a mod, or maybe in newer Total Wars, where it's like a city defenses stat, so you can see like how many the city defenses had killed. I think that would be really interesting to see. But yeah, in this case, it's definitely worth it for the defenders to hold the outer walls, because we really weren't able to get rid of many of their towers. So now all of these towers are just firing down onto the Norwegian soldiers here. You can see this one is in range as well, but I think I am working on it with the culverin. Or hopefully I will soon. But now I'm moving forwards my siege towers here, all in a clump. It's a little tricky with the pathfinding there. You can see a couple of them glitching a little bit as they move forwards to get to the walls. But yes, also Azrian being pretty aggressive as well. His Hanseatic infantry have taken a bit of a beating though, trying to move up to the walls, but he's put them right at the edge of them so that the Pavi's crossbows don't have an effective shot. And there we go. It looks like the herdmen are finally getting some justice on this bombard crew here. Go ahead and turn off the HUD for you guys. And there we go. Yeah, Nashgrash is still trying. I think he's still trying to aim for me. No, he's turning over this way now. I'm not sure what he's firing at. Looks like he did try to fire at the siege tower. But now my culverin is moving up just a bit. I think I do make a little bit of friendly fire, though. I do fire right at the back of my siege towers. Luckily, it didn't cause too much damage or cause any casualties. But that was a little bit of a derp from me. But yeah, we've got to be careful here. The Red Cal is definitely pushing a lot of troops into this one choke point. And all of these units are currently fighting. So this one unit of Huskarls is really, really cost effective, because it's holding back about 4 to 5 units just on its own. And it looks like the secondary defenses are already set, so they are starting to relinquish a decent amount of the city, which is fine. I didn't expect them to hold the outer walls too aggressively, but there we go. I got a nice hit on the Huskarls and also destroyed Nashgrash's last catapult. So it's a little bit of justice there for me, now that I know that the defenders are only down to this catapult here, which is the Hunteds. And there we go. I think I did try to help Azrian Fox by taking out these 2 towers. Either that or his units moving through were able to capture the gatehouse, which actually I think that might be more correct, because he's actually got some herdmen coming in through the gate. But that has opened things up just a little bit as well, but the defenders are already well situated for a defense. And these herdmen over here just getting slaughtered by this tower. Azrian realizes that they'll probably just break soon, so he just charges them in to this unit of skilled spearmen. But being fired upon in the back by that tower too, I can't imagine they're going to last too much longer. Although they are wasting a lot of their ammo here with their Pavi's crossbowmen on this very unimportant unit. Even these ones that are coming up here, they're just herdmen, but they're really soaking up a lot of the enemy fire. But here we go. Finally, I'm making it to the walls, and it looks like the skilled spearmen are just kind of being ignored. The Red Cal wants to get his units in behind the Huskarls here. Let's go ahead and turn this to slow motion as we see them get into position, outflanking these Danes. At least this is one unit that will not return to the town center. Already such a bloody battle. There we go. The Red Cal is keeping some units in reserve, so he's not pushing more than 4. I probably would have pushed in 2, though. Just because, again, if we take a look at the stats of all of these 4 units, yeah, all 4 of them are winded. The Huskarls are winded as well. So having just 2 in there, he could have kept 2 that were a little bit more fresh. And then... cycled them in as need be. But there we go. Now I'm getting some justice on this bombard crew as well. These medieval day snipers. Come on, men. Is that guy dead? No, he's still getting up to. The Norwegians are even having trouble killing the... There we go. There we go. 3 out of 4 down. Excellent, excellent, excellent. So yes, I managed to survive with 3 Culverin. And what I'm doing is moving my Culverin over to try and snipe out this tower way over here, because it's really depleting a lot of Azrian's cheaper Herdman units. But here we go. Oh, I'm glad I caught this. They actually didn't know, the defenders, that you could move a unit in behind like this. So Azrian Fox actually getting a unit of Herdmen sneaking around to attack these skilled spearmen from behind. They were going to attack the Huskarls, but yeah, I think he decided he wanted to go after the Herdmen instead.
The enemy's tower has been destroyed.
There we go. Let's zoom down in there. And there's the charge in. A little bit framey. I mean, we've got like 14,000 men in this battle. I don't remember if I did show you guys the numbers for this battle, but it was 8,400 for the attackers and 4,500 for the defenders. So I think we had a 4,000 man advantage on them. Yeah, and it looks like they're just going to charge over here because Azrid is filtering more Herdmen over to that flank. And this is what really is going to suck too. And well done to Azrian, good battlefield awareness, pulling his Herdmen away now that the Huskarls are engaged and actually moving in to attack the Pavi's crossbowmen. The Pavi's crossbows did get a decent number of volleys off into this Herdman unit, but now they are tied down for a little bit. And he also pushed in this unit of Herdmen as well to tie down the spears so that they couldn't reinforce the crossbows. So that was good to see. Now over here, the Red Celt has engaged this line of Huskarls here, and now that effectively opens this street up so that we could get some units in behind. And I do realize that we do have some open ground available, and Azrian's got this with his 2 unit of Chnet, so I'm going to not worry about this, and I've started to move my cavalry back around to come in the gate and support where needed. But I'm finally moving up some of my units to support the Red Celt. But this is where it's going to be a total kill zone. Getting into range of the Hunted's catapult and a lot of these Pavi's crossbowmen. Again, the modders will have to correct me if I am wrong about this, but I believe that in the last patch, crossbows are not as effective firing in an arcing pattern. They kind of need to be firing straight on. Yeah, you can see we've got some explosive rounds coming down. Where are they firing? Oh, actually glancing off the side of the building there. And just the relentless shower of arrows coming down on these 2 units. You can see they are starting to deplete themselves. And this is what I wanted to use my unit for. I could have gone around and tried to go after the Pavi's crossbowmen, but what I'm going to do instead is turn these guys around and just block off this street so that the Huskarls can't flank around me. I think I do eventually decide to do that. Or maybe not with this unit, maybe with another unit afterwards, but I'm also trying to sneak a few of my units through here by putting them into a very thin formation and then charging them through, and I was able to get behind the Huskarls here. So as you can see, they are now completely surrounded. Trying to hold on both sides. Yes, there we go. Looks like I did just commit them into the Huskarls, but I think I will do that with another unit eventually. I'm still trying to filter in my forces slowly, and I've also got my Culverin in here too. Not sure what I'm firing at. I think I did try to go for the catapult, but it's a little bit too well defended. Let's go ahead and put this on slow motion for a bit here. But yeah, this is going to be a long battle. It was a grind. The defenders made us pay for every step we took. There we go.
Their tower has fallen. Good news.
There.
Enemy
A couple less
troops are at the wall.
defenses for the Norwegians to worry about. And what do we got here? Some more Vapnir. I believe this is the Red Celts Vapnir. Moving around the flanks. And look at these Bergmen, these Skulled Spearmen holding really well. And they actually have 62 kills already. And these Huskarls only 49. I mean, they're fighting on all fronts. You can see most of them are back-to-back here. This would just be terrifying to be completely surrounded by an enemy with no escape. Like, I couldn't imagine how you would keep the will to keep fighting at this point instead of just, like, being in utter shock. Yeah, the Vapnir have them completely surrounded there, which is excellent. Over here, they're still holding with that unit of Skulled Spearmen, so there's really no way for us to get up here and get after those crossbows, so they're just able to fire down. Look at this, 217 and 187 already for those kills. But actually, over here, this is some bad news for the Vapnir because they're being targeted from behind by the Pavi's crossbows, just firing at them in the back as they try to come over here and reinforce. Can see a lot of dead Norwegians on this roadway. And here we go. It looks like we had some Ritter here, and I really was loving how aware the defenders were. The reason they're bringing this Ritter over here is because they already guessed what I was going to be doing with my cavalry. I was going to bring them around this street here, and I was going to slam into the Pavi's crossbowmen because the Hanseatic infantry were absolutely melting this unit of Huskarls. And we were going for like a timed attack where the Huskarls would break or be so weak by the time I got there that I'd just be able to charge right through and go after the crossbows. But I think that's either the Hunter or Nashgrash like already knew what I was planning on doing. Oh yes, look at that volley. Just a disgusting volley there. But yeah, he already knew what I was doing, and he was bringing forwards cavalry to protect his crossbows. So well done there. Well done, defenders. Let's see if we can see another volley from that Hanseatic infantry there. You can see a couple of them on the ground still alive, trying to get back up. There comes another volley. Oh yeah, a lot of them being ripped apart there by the shower of the crossbows. Let's go ahead and put this back on place. So yeah, there's the man count for you. So 8,500 to 4,500. Oh, and actually, sorry guys, let's just go back to slow motion real quick so we can see this charge here on the Huskarls. That was actually really terrible. Oh, I don't remember. I must have not selected them. My bad, guys. Sorry about that. Well, one of the worst cav charges that I might have ever shown you. But I must have been selecting the cavalry instead of the Huskarls. Or actually, it looks like the second cav unit is charging into the Huskarls because their numbers have dropped a little bit. But, oh man, that was brutal. But yeah, I am trying to push my cavalry through. I know that it's never a good idea in 12-12, but I was really desperate to get into these Pavi's crossbows. And that was actually a decent charge into those spears. Not killing too many, killing about 30 with that charge. So not too bad, because they were moving. They weren't even in any kind of testudo. But now that they've kind of regained their composure, they are starting to deplete my cavalry numbers a decent amount. But there we go. Finally able to get in behind the Pavi's crossbowmen, but this other unit here is just firing right into my flanks. And you can see there goes one of my cavalry units already. And looks like we did break them over on this flank. The Huskarls finally broke it. Only 15 kills, but they held for quite some time. Long enough for the catapult to get 41 kills, and one of these crossbow units was firing. They might have brought it down over here. Yeah, 88 kills and 12, so not as good. But the Red Celt is not slowing down. He's already going on to the third line of defense here with the Skilled Spearman Huskarl combination. But they're already starting to waver. These Vapenir are exhausted. They have been fighting. I think, since the walls. But I am moving forward to my Culverine. I think my Culverine crew, yeah, they're out of ammo, so I'm moving forward my Culverine crew now. Probably just going to throw them in somewhere unimportant. But yeah, I think we are just ignoring these spears now. These spears were holding at this section to prevent, I think, Azrian from bringing forwards his elite Vapenir to reinforce this flank and break the crossbows. Actually, it looks like he does have a unit over here, but it's just not going to get there in time. And it's also not going to do enough damage. Yeah, it's broken. And we've got another unit of Ritter coming around. I believe these were the 2 units that were over here. So I guess there's no reason for Azrian to keep his cavalry there any longer. He could probably bring them back to the other side. But there we go. So it wasn't actually me. I remember a unit was here to block them off, but Azrian with his Landwehren pikemen blocking off that flank and securing this road for easy passage of our soldiers. Because we're kind of fighting almost in 2 separate fronts here. We've got soldiers on the far side, which are battling near the Acropolis. And then we've got a fight over here as well, like another defense. That was really difficult. But here we go, actually. If I can put this on slow motion for just a second. I think that Azrian does get his pikes down in time. Yes, just in time for this cavalry unit to just get annihilated. That was literally a split second longer, and the pikemen probably would have been shattered by the charge of the Ritter. But just huge kills on that cav. You can look at their numbers. That was a full unit of Ritter. They're already down to half health. And as they do try to withdraw, the pikemen are going to hold them in there. And the Hensetic infantry are just going to shower them as they try to escape. Just devastating for the Danish defenders there. Yeah, that happens though. You'll go to select to attack a unit, and then you'll quickly go to see what's going on the other side of the battle, and then you don't realize that, you know, you told your cav to go after the crossbows, but Azrian has moved his pikes in the way. Yeah, so 38 kills on that cav, well done. And then over here as well, the poor Landwehren just getting shredded by the Pavi's crossbowmen, firing at point-blank range into the Landwehren. Actually, it looks like they are moving forwards just a little bit. I don't know why, though. They should be in range. I mean, they're wavering already, so... maybe he's trying to get in range of other units on the battlefield. But I think I do finally charge these spears in the back. I'm not sure. Or if I'm trying to run through them. Yeah, there we go. Running through them. Because I want to come over here to this side to get at these Pavi's crossbows. Because these skilled spearmen here, they will not break. I've got my 2 units of Vapenir fighting tooth and nail for this choke point, and they just will not give up. So yeah, I've got my cavalry coming over on this side. Actually, let's see if we can jump into them as they move forwards. Also, the Hensetic infantry moving up there as well. Let's try and get to the front. Here we go. Let's switch over to this side here. Maybe not that much into the front. Yeah, they are trying to fire down. Nice hits there. Nice charge from the Ritter. But now I want to try and get into the other crossbow unit, because it's just going to start firing point blank into, yep, my flank, just as I thought, and there we go. And I just noticed this, we've got like a magic rock going on here. It's just like floating in the middle of nowhere. But yeah, so there we go. I guess a cav unit for a cav unit, because my Ritter was utterly shattered there. And these Pavi's crossbowmen, despite that heavy charge, they still hang on. 348 kills and 255 kills. And now Azrian is trying to commit his Landfahren. Better do it quickly, though. Oh, yeah, they're just getting there in time. But again, these crossbows are probably just going to be able to fire right into their backs. Actually, we got a little duel over here. Anyways, I don't want to focus too much on this section of the battlefield because the Red Celt is fighting very hard over here for this this streetway. It's lost a lot of good men over here. You can see that, yeah, it's just littered with bodies. Azrian's Landwehr pikemen being recommitted. But Red Celt, good job. He's resting his forces here. He's also got a lot more foot ritter kind of sitting back. And the balance power is still in our favor. We've got 5,800. They have just under 3,000. So they've lost 1,500 men. But meanwhile, we've lost almost 3,000. So the defenders are being pretty cost effective. But now I'm bringing forwards my Orkney Islanders here. It's time to bring the archers to bear. Very nice, very nice. Man, just a river pouring through here. More Norwegian reinforcements. Now that the first section of the city is well under our control, we feel comfortable in moving the majority of our forces inside. But actually, it looks like we've got some Ritter over here. Not sure what they're planning to do. Maybe go for a suicide charge on the King's bodyguard. But yes, this Acropolis is going to be tough to take. Really tough to take. And the Hunted, for only getting 50 kills, he's already used half of his catapult ammo, so that's really good to see. And here we go. Actually, it looks like there's been a general retreat called, and the Red Celt sees this. He's quickly trying to push his Vavenir in to stop so many elite units from making it back behind the wall of spears and pikes. Now, the only blessing in disguise for the attackers is that the crossbows don't have as good of range as we do. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to bring my Orkney Islanders forwards to about the 2nd street here, I would say. And we're just going to park them here and start to fire down on those pikemen and weaken their numbers so that we can hopefully push up to the Acropolis. But as I said, there we go. So it looks like we did catch a unit of Scald Spearmen from escaping. And there's a couple of units over here as well that are not going to be able to get back. Actually, 2 full units of Huskarls and 2 units of Skilled Spearmen. And actually, these spears are suffering quite a bit. They're losing decisively, apparently. I think it's because they were not able to get their shield wall in place. So now they're kind of fighting just like a melee unit would. And that's probably them done. Yep. Yes, only 8 kills on that unit. Well done. But we need to maybe capture this watchtower here. I wish that I had saved some of my ammo in my Culverin for that. Yeah, it looks like this Raider was going to try and come in behind and attack our archers. But unfortunately, because Nashgrash destroyed all of our artillery, we had to use siege towers. So none of these gatehouses are broken open. We just own them, so they're closed to the defenders should they want to try and come back in. And there we go. Finally, that spear unit routed. I don't know why we took so long to get rid of it. But yeah, here we go. This is what I was talking about. So yeah, getting the Orkney Islanders over here. Actually, this might be a little bit too close, though. I don't know if it's as necessary for me to have them over here. But yeah, what I'm going to do is use fire arrows first, which is one of the abilities of the Orkney Islanders. And I'm just going to focus this catapult like mad and try and light it on fire. Because if we get rid of that catapult, that means that the defenders have no more artillery to use upon us once we push for the final attack. But those crossbows, you can hear them. They're desperately trying to get rid of my Orkney Islanders. And Nashgrash and the Hunted are pulling back some of their Huskarls out of range. And there we go. One of them is already a light. And there we go. The pikemen have been given the general retreat. Because they know what I'm going for next. As soon as this catapult is gone, it's pikeman focusing time. But it's good on the defenders. They're spreading out their forces. They're not allowing themselves to be too clumped up. And they managed to save quite a bit of units. Like I said, they've got over half their army in the Acropolis. If I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 2,500, 4,500. So a little under half. But now I'm pushing forward some of my cheap Vapnir units. Or not my cheap Vapnir units, but my tired ones. Ones that have already been in melee and seen a lot of bloodshed. Yeah, those pikemen are starting to feel the heat. Take a look at that. Already down to 143. This unit was a little bit more protected because of that building right there. But this unit is struggling. 0 kills. They've already lost 30. So yeah, Orkney Islanders are really good archers, at least for Norway. Still have a lot of ammo left as well. And I believe the Red Celt, yeah, he's still got his bow bombardier back here. And I'm not sure where his... Oh, his archers are also up here as well. Orkney Islanders early period. Unfortunately, they have broken, though, with most of their ammo, so that is not good. And it looks like we've got a couple units trying to go to escape outside of this gate, but that's really not a good idea with the 2 units of cav out there. And, yeah, it looks like... I thought he was going to pin these Huskarls in position and then fire at them from behind with these 2 units of Hanseatic infantry. But now he's kind of allowed the Huskarls to face the crossbows. So, yeah, I think he is actually just withdrawing them over to the town center defense. But yeah, now I'm pushing a lot of infantry in here. Probably not the best thing. What I was trying to do was just use numbers and push them through the formation and kind of break up this wall. Because you can see they are in... wait, where's the spearmen? Let's try and get a hold of the spearmen here. I don't know, but they are in Testudo. But if you can break up that Testudo, then, yeah, see, they're starting to drop their shields like that. And then you can focus them with archers a little bit easier. Pikemen down to 121, which is good. And I think, yeah, the catapult used up its ammo, so I decided to stop wasting my ammo on trying to burn it down.
Our forces have found their courage.
Yeah, still 30 minutes left in this battle, so it took us 30 minutes to conquer pretty much the entire city. But now we've got another 30 minutes to try and break this Acropolis holding. And it looks very daunting. They've still got, I think, 3 or 4 units of Hobby's crossbows with relatively good ammo. Let's go ahead and get a little bit, some close zoom-ins. And actually, let's put it in slow motion just for a bit. That's one of the features I really enjoy from Warhammer is when you do go into slow motion, it still has the background music playing. This is a little bit too quiet, but with the battle sounds, like if they were to integrate that into Three Kingdoms, I think that's a nice feature that they should keep. Yeah, the first Skulled Spearman's Testudo is kind of broken now. You can see that they're all fighting with their shields in front of them, but the second one is still holding firm. Yeah, you can see as they readjust, they're still holding their formations. That's why I'm trying to push as best as I can, and I've got my tablemen in front. So all of the casualties on the front lines from this great push, it's going to be my cheaper infantry. The Vapnir are kind of more protected behind. But again, this is way too many units. I spoke about the red Celt funneling in too many units at the start of the battle, but now I've got 4 units basically fighting 2 spears. And we've also got the Landwehren pikemen and 5 units of, 4 units of foot ritter and a Vapenir here as well. So there's like 11 units, which is a little bit overkill. And there we go. Looks like Pavi's crossbowmen are retreating. The annoying thing is that even if you're firing at them when they retreat, those massive shields protect them from casualties. So, yeah. We've got the Chnet over here capturing this watchtower though, which is excellent. That'll stop firing into the flanks of our men. Well done, well done. The great Norwegian army. And there we go. Fortunately, losing a couple of his cavalry units, being in close proximity of the tower when it did collapse, but... Oh, wow. So it looks like the King's bodyguard over here, Azrian's general, is actually fighting the Huskarls. Oh, and his general has just fallen as well. So that is not good. These Hanseatic infantry need to fire on this Huskarl unit pretty quick. Now, I know that Azrian Fox, I think at around this point, did have to leave the battle. But he did leave the game running for us for the replay. But this is probably the AI may have charged his general in like that, because that's really not the wisest thing. Looks like he's bringing his last unit of Vapenir in as well, and we've got his 2 units of Cav coming over here, which is nice. Good reinforcements, but I'm hoping that they don't charge right into this pike wall here. Such a scene, though. All of these men inside the city. Let's get an overview shot. Always looking for new camera angles. Yes, and if you can see towards the bottom here, I've got my 1 unit of Vapenir in a very thin formation trying to get past the pikemen, and that was a huge mistake because they're just being cut down as they try to push past. So yeah, losing a lot of men there for no reason. Oh, do you guys see the waves of Norwegian soldiers just dying on the pikes? And now we've got the brave catapult crew charging down. Some much-needed reinforcements. So how many of these pike went up to? Yeah, 130 men. So I probably lost like 60 men in that one endeavor. That was kind of stupid on my part. But I did withdraw my Orkney Islanders. We'll see where they're going in a second here. But I was starting to get a little bit concerned because the balance of power is usually misleading in Total War. Like, we've lost half of our army. Granted, they have 2, but we've just started to engage their pikemen, and I feel like we've lost close to about, 600 to 700 men in this last 10 minutes engaging these pikemen. Especially with those 3 units of Pavi's crossbowmen still alive. But the spears have broken their formation, and they are pushing pretty aggressively to try to break these Landwehren pikemen. I'm sure this unit of Vapenir will also break. The only thing that's keeping them in melee is the gold chevron upgrades, which probably gives them insane morale buffs. I'm not sure if that yellow... No, that's still one of ours. But as they're starting to push a little harder with their spears, you can see that they're really losing casualties. The spears are not good in offensive moves like that. You can see this one is already broken. So now we've just got to push forwards against these pikes. But they've got the flanks pretty well secure. There's not really much room to kind of do those maneuvers where we can sneak around. But now I've got my general over here. I'm not sure if I noticed this unit here, though, so I'm going to have to be careful that I don't lose my general early on. But here comes my reinforcements. I've got 5 fresh units of Vapenir ready to go. And what do the defenders have left over here? We got both the generals who are on foot. And they've got 4 units of Pavi's crossbows, but I'd say 2 units of Pavi's crossbows worth of ammunition left. And 2 Huskarls, and 1 pike, and 1 spear. But our men are really wavering against these pikemen. We're just so lightly armored. We don't really have any plate armor. Oh, look at that spear guy. Ooh, he was fighting hard there, but he just got slaughtered. And whose cavalry is this? That is my general. What am I doing? Get back. I think I tried to move over here to rally, but they charged forwards without my permission. That's kind of a new move. But there I go. I'm trying to push in between the pikes here. So if you can get enough mass, you can see if I zoom in that some of the units get actually in between the pikes, and then they're able to challenge the pikemen in hand-to-hand combat. But I must not notice that my general is in here like this. I must be focusing on my archers, because I was trying to be really sneaky with my archers over here. You can see that I've actually parked them right up on this cliff face, and some of them have just enough range to start to fire onto the generals back here. You can see that they are under fire or taking fire. And I believe the Pavi's crossbows don't have enough range to fire back, which is excellent. Like, I'm not going to get many kills over here. It's not going to be outstanding, but just to make the defenders sweat a little bit more. And I think one of them did remount their general, which is smart, because if they are taking fire and some of the arrows hit the horses, then they take off running, and then that means that both generals will be on foot. But yeah, I must not be noticing this. I didn't actually even notice this during the battle as well, but look at that, my general down to 7 men. Has he made it through? That's not my general's bodyguard unit, is it? Oh yeah, there's my king behind enemy lines. No kidding. My king is actually outflanked the pikemen with 3 men. He's probably broken though, I imagine. No, he's wavering, but he's still there. Yep, there he goes. He's broken. He's broken. I kind of want to follow him and see if he gets killed here or not. I remember that my general did break during the battle, but I don't remember if he was actually killed. So there he goes. He's trying to retreat. No, actually, it looks like he is going to actually escape, because those are all friendly forces there. So he did manage to escape with his life. There he goes. You coward! But 21 minutes still left to go, and these pikemen are holding, guys. Look at this, 1,030 kills, and look how fast it's climbing as we just throw these foot ritter onto the pikes. This unit up to 286, we're really not focusing that one that much. I should have left my Orkney Islanders over here for longer, but I was really intent on trying to harass them a little bit further with my archers on that flank. Yeah. Not good news for us. The balance of power is starting to slip away from us. We're down to 3,100 men. Now, I'm going to do a little bit of a cut here, guys, because I want to keep the video somewhat reasonable for you. So I'm going to make a cut to the point where these pikemen are a little bit weaker, and it looks like we are going to break through them, because we still have many more choke points to go through before we make it to the very top. Alright guys, welcome back, and it took another 5 to 6 minutes for us to break that first unit of pikemen. You can see that the second unit of pikemen over there is still holding on, but we've completely outflanked it now, so it should break quite soon. And now we've got some crossbows and archers over here that are starting to weaken the defenses a little bit more. But there we go, the king's bodyguard, looks like the cavalry has left. So one of the generals is on foot now, because I think my archers were finally able to scare them off. But this is a really well-layered defense, so I mean, it's anybody's game at this point. We're down to 2,500 men. They're down to 1,850. So we only have like a 700-man advantage at this point. So we really have to use our crossbows as best as we can to start to weaken the defenses. Luckily, a lot of their Pavi's crossbowmen are obstructed, so they're not getting returning volleys on this very big clump of Hanseatic infantry. But yeah, there we go. So that pikeman is finally broken, and this is pretty much what we've got left here. The Red Celts General, I've got 3 units of Vapnir, and it looks like a few more units of Vapnir as well. And then, of course, my Orkney Islanders, which I will be moving back inside the settlement very shortly. Yeah, now we're going to try and start focusing this next pike unit. And actually, if we did focus the Huskarls, that would also be pretty effective, I think. Because, I mean, they've got good missile block, but it's not excellent. It's only 55. If you see the Pavi's crossbowmen, it's 75. But it looks like we're trying to focus on the pikemen instead. I'm not sure. It looks like the Pavi's crossbowmen are deciding to move into melee, because they aren't able to get any good shots off because of their units in front, so they are obstructed. I'm not sure if that was either a misclick or a tactical decision there. It's possible it was a misclick, because you can see the units are trying to get out of there as quickly as possible. But again, clumping up our forces a little bit too much. Probably should have filtered them at a little bit slower. So there has been some errors from the attacker's side. I think I was getting a little bit too impatient with my forces, just trying to overwhelm them with numbers, but it really doesn't work that well, especially in 12-12. There we go. So we're finally engaging the Huskarls here. Yeah, again, crossbows obstructed, so that is definitely a blessing for us. But only 4 units of solid infantry left. 2,400 men to 1,800 men. I've got my Orkney Islanders back here, just harassing the Pavi's crossbows as best as I can. But I'm realizing that this really isn't an effective use of this ammunition. Like 27, 18, 43, 22. So really not too high of a kill count on those Orkney Islanders. A lot of blood, a lot of heads rolling. Come on, men. We've got to break this unit of Huskarls. We've still got a pike and spear combo to deal with after this. Let's get some close-ups here of the fighting. Looks like some of the Hanseatic infantry is in melee. I expect they've used up most of their ammo. Yeah, this unit that's going in, it's just got 1 or 2 shots left. This one shouldn't be, though. It should be back a little ways, but this is Azrian's units, and I think he has left at this point, so the AI is kind of doing what the AI does best. But we do have a few units that the Red Celt has held in reserve, and it looks like got some cavalry units here. This is probably a little bit of a glitch in the replay. There are some units that are very depleted, kind of just sitting outside in the settlement, but they do not exist. So yeah, this is pretty much it. 12 minutes left in the battle. 800 man advantage, so we're slowly starting to come back just a little bit. These pikemen, though, oh man. They really need to focus on these pikemen, these Orkney Islanders. I think I was trying way too hard over here. I think I should have maybe just sent one to harass them, but I really haven't maximized the ammunition well. So there's a little note to you guys. In theory, it sounds like a good idea to get them over here and fire into the town center, but by the time the arrows get up there, they just really don't do any damage. These crossbows are firing point blank. Oh my goodness. Either that or they're obstructed again, so they will try to, the defenders will try to readjust them. No, it looks like they're just going to send them into melee. And right at the top of the hill there, you see those shields go down. And there we go. Yeah, starting to weaken them a little bit. They've lost 20 men. This unit of Huscarls has taken a beating as well. It's lost 40 men. Can we do it? Can we do it? There we go. That unit of Pavi's crossbowman is broken. These Huscarls, man, so tough. They're up to 208 kills holding in shield wall here. I don't know why this Hanseatic infantry is obstructed unless it's trying to fire on that unit of crossbows. Or sorry, on that unit of Huscarls. But they should just focus on the pikemen, because they're holding up a lot of ammunition. But yeah, here we go. So it looks like I might be sending my Orkney Islanders back. But if I'm correct, I'm not sure if I bring them in to fire at the pikemen. And it looks like this unit of crossbows has almost used up all of its ammo, so it is going to reinforce the Huscarls as well. So there we go, some extra manpower to put to the front lines. And I think the Red Celt is the only attacker that still has a general on the battlefield.
All of its ammunition.
No guts, no glory. Oh, my poor units of Vapnir. I mean, 124 kills, that's pretty solid on these heavy tier 3 units. But yeah, it's starting to waver. This unit of Huscarls, 129 men still remain. And I'm not sure, are they going to send in? Yeah, I wouldn't send in that one just yet. It's got enough ammo to do a ton of damage. And here we go. It looks like we've got some cavalry here that is dismounted. So this would be Azrian's cavalry that has been sent in. Adding some more bodies into the Huscarls as well. Pushing through actually really effectively there. Nice. So this is probably what will break these Huscarls. And he's actually Maybe he is still present in this game. Azrian, if you were still present here, I apologize. I can't. I played this battle over a month ago, I would say. So I probably should upload them like that night or the next night. But this is a good move here because it looks like he was trying to get them to line up here, and then he could push them over past the pikemen. Yeah, you can see that this is what he's trying to do, is to sneak them up this little pathway here and hit the sides of the spears and pikes, and it is kind of working, I do have to say. And now we've got the generals over here. It looks like the generals are going to be pushing forwards. This is pretty neck and neck now. The balance of power are pretty even. We're down to a 600-man advantage. My army is pretty much destroyed. I've just got 2 units of Vaetnir left. If we take a look at what's in the town center, I mean, the Red Celt is holding his forces back, which is smart. And I think my Orkney Islanders are on their way. On their way back in, yes. Yeah, this cavalry is kind of getting destroyed, though, unfortunately. Only 6 minutes left in the battle, though. Who will win? 500-man advantage, too, and we haven't even dealt with the pikes yet. Oh, boy. Sorry, 1,700 to 1,200 men left. And the general kind of getting hit there by crossbow bolts, so he is withdrawing back up the hill a little bit. These Huskarls are so tough. Even being outflanked in that. Combat even. They've got 86 men left, and they are holding strong. Azrian's cavalry has broken, I believe. Hanseatic infantry still moving around. Hopefully they aren't pushing into melee just yet, because they still got some valuable ammo there. But now these Huskarls are shaken, casualties sustained. With those extra reinforcements, they are losing. It's the one King's bodyguard that lost their mounts at the very back here. Actually, it looks like some archers are firing at them. Nowhere left to run. This is the very back of the map. And finally, after 587 kills, these Huskarls are starting to waver. 4 minutes left in the battle. Still a 500-man advantage. And it looks like they are trying to stop the Huskarls from wavering by pushing in the second unit of Huskarls.